this is your recap from our core workshop. For those of you who were there, here's a good recap. For those of you who weren't, here's some learning. I want to go over some of the main education points, then I'll go through the exercises and trainings that we went through. So we work with people who have done the massage, have done the stretching, the chiropractic, the physical therapy, the ortho, and they just didn't get the results they wanted, and there's still more that they feel they can do. What happens is they haven't got to the root cause of the problem. Many of us who are interested in this core information know that the core is a component and they did not address the core correctly, and hence why we had this workshop, hence why you guys were interested. Now, we want to help people get back to living without fear of re-injury, without fear of pain, without fear that they'll lose their future hobbies. So that's what we're going to use this information for. Now, we believe that people aren't broken, but that we just haven't shown them how to connect the dots yet and really put this stuff to work. So today we're going to go through that kind of from base and building, and I want you to take this slow. Take all the information that you've learned, implement one thing before another. This isn't about fixing everything right away. This workshop was about finding that root cause and legitimately getting a starting point to then build off of. Now, 80% of adults will have back pain in their lifetime, let alone other pains. It's very common, even though it's not normal. The vast majority aren't because of a structure change, because of disc degeneration or herniation or arthritis. It's because their core doesn't activate and control properly. And that's why this workshop is so important, because that is the majority of painful cases that continue to have chronic pain. If you don't address how your core is functioning, you're going to keep compensating and doing the incorrect patterns. All right, for this, you can't stretch away improper activation. So we need to start with how this core area truly works. Remember, the core is not just the abs, but it's this huge transversus abdominis muscle. I encourage you to go Google that again to see what that looks like. And then it's your obliques, and then all of the pressure through here, top to bottom. It includes front, sides, and back. To be able to activate your core, you first have to start with breathing. So out of our 4 things we taught at the workshop, the first thing was breathing. To do that, you're going to lay down, put one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach, and I want you to practice breathing air in to your stomach and back down. You can see here, this is rising, not my chest. If you suck in to breathe in, we're going to have neck tension problems, and if we can't expand through these breathing muscles, we cannot then activate them to use your core. That's why this comes first. Move these muscles before you can turn them on. Now, we did the front, then the sides. So stick a thumb into your side and see, can you bring air into that thumb and expand your side regions? We had somebody at the workshop who could do one side and absolutely not the other. That's going to create an imbalance. We had other people who put so much pressure here and can't find any sort of side expansion. So when they're twisting, they're at big risk of hurting their back. So we started there. There's our breathing component. Once you have control of breathing, then you've earned the right to work on activating your core. The way this is going to work is picture that there's somebody's hand under your back. You can even put your own hand there. And I want you to put pressure down. Now, if you use your glutes here, you're still not going to hit your hand. So I want these muscles to push down into the floor. Notice how this requires a pelvic tilt to come down into the ground. Then what we want to work is these muscles coming up while the back goes down. These are the muscles that work. This is not a glute bridge. This is not a neck crunch. This is simply these muscles helping you compress into the ground. I had a couple of you put your hand under my back and you can feel the amount of force that I'm pressing into your back. That's what we want to work through. This progresses into a full dead bug hold, being able to really push into the ground, and then notice how my back does not move. It stays nice and flat while my arms and legs move. That is a little more advanced. I want all of you to start with simply holding it, and that is going to build a lot of stability into this region, which is good for your back, your hips, and your shoulders. Now, the third thing we want to attack, first one was breathing, second one was core activation, third is your side core. We use side planks for this. We want these on your elbow with your knees here. If we're out here, we're going to use our back, hip, weird muscles. From here, I want you to tilt toward the ground. This is going to allow you to use the bottom of this core to pull up against gravity. So we're going to target our obliques this time, or the side muscles, and you're going to lift up and come back down. One big tip here is we are not pushing and twisting and yanking up through other muscles. This is a very slow movement, very controlled motion. This is a huge one where in the workshop we saw a ton of differences side to side. This is something I want you to note on yourself. Keep monitoring and notice which side you need way more work on than the others. That was our third one. Our fourth one was twisting. So when it comes to twisting, we want to work on anti-rotation, which means when we are turning, we want our core to build a nice solid base here rather than twist and let your spine kind of crunch in on itself. So with this, we had a band. We had someone else holding the band, and you're going to press that band in front and come back. Going to press that band in front and come back. You want a band that's pulling you to the side. That way you have to fight it in anti-rotation. Fight the rotation here. Notice how my arms are not up. Notice how I'm not arching, but I am keeping this nice and braced. When you first try this, put a lot of resistance so you can feel it pulling you, and then fight it. Those are a little harder. There's a lot more to those. That's why we're starting with the dead bugs and the side planks and the breathing before we get into anti-rotation. If you look up Pallof presses or Pallof twists, Pallof variations, Pallof, that is a lot of twisting material that we use in here. But like I said, a lot of you haven't even earned the right to get there yet. We really need to start with the breathing, the core activation, and the side planks. Now, everyone went through their takeaway at the workshop, and yes, there's a big difference right versus left. All of you at the workshop hadn't truly felt your core before. So those of you who didn't attend, I am guessing you've truly never felt your core before. So I encourage you to take advantage of that. We are people who spend real time with you. We spend that full hour, not just on the discovery visit, but on the next treatment session and every single session after that. So we want you all to take advantage of a discovery visit. It's an hour where you come in, we screen you head to toe, you get to ask what questions you have, and we get to determine what your true root cause is of your pain and start to give you details on how to fix that. We just ran a sale, so you guys who are at the workshop, I would love for you to take advantage and see if we'll open it up for you. So shoot us a message, tell us any takeaways, tell us any questions you have from this, and then call and get your discovery visit scheduled. That way we can help you. Thanks for attending, and watch this recap and put it to use.